What's going on, y'all? My name's Josh, you can call me Anorian, and it's time for another Anor of Convallaria video. And today we're going to do an early game guide, not the beginner guide that I did before, not like the what you should know before playing. Today we're assuming you've already downloaded Sword of Convallaria, you've gotten through the tutorial, you've done your early polls, you're excited, you're ready to jump in. What do I do now? What things do I focus on as a player? What's really important to get into so that I can get the most bang for my buck, and I can kind of move my account into the next steps to where I can really start enjoying things. So we're going to look at all that. We're going to go with what you should focus on early and where you should put your attention and push through. Where to place your stamina through the day. We'll kind of talk about like what you have to work with when you fully examine everything. How to allocate your resources as a whole, and the important things you should be keeping versus the important things you should just go ahead and have fun with. Important milestones to watch out for as you're doing your stuff, and the ever important, what do I do if I only have a few minutes today? Like, we all are gamers, sure, but sometimes there's just a day you can't play. This you kind of got to treat like a real full single-player game on a console or something whenever you can, because it's so fun, yeah, but it's a mobile game. You do still want to log in and do some basics if you have a busy, hectic day and you can't play. So let's just say you go, I got 10, 15 minutes, what should I do? We'll kind of burn that down for you. All right, but we're gonna hop in, and the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna lie, because I've discovered it, I want to show you something very, very silly and fun, and that's absolutely nothing, which is the developers threw in some fun little Easter eggs in the basic hub area, right? So if you go over here, there's this little box, and if you click on the box, it opens up. I don't know what it does. It's just fun, and it opens up. And that, I would think there was something going on, but there's also right over here, you see this? You click on it, and it closes, it opens. It's just fun, it's silly. Right up here, you go up here, right? You talk to people, you do your thing. Oh, the drawer opens and it closes. It opens and it closes. I'm sure there's more if you walk around town, but, you know, whatever. See if you can find any more, right? Okay, but we're going to start off with the important thing. Where should I put my focus first? Where should I put my first energy? And as simple and as basic as it sounds, the first thing I fundamentally need you to understand is you want to push the Fool's Journey. As you can see, I just opened Chapter 3. It's important that I open Chapter 3 so that I can mention something here that will be important. Because you can see here, there's a little tarot card floating under 3-1. Any level that has that little tarot card floating underneath it opens up something of note as far as your account goes. So going through the Rift, for instance, that's the basic stuff. You're going to want to get through this. That's just kind of going to unlock all the basics up to the level up portion. Then you're going to get to the Chapter 1, the Army of One, and you're going to go through. And most key here, out of anything else, you definitely want to beat it. 1-17 is probably the single most key mission you can unlock out of anything. If you focus on nothing else, I understand the game tells you do want to do some Spiral of Destinies before jumping into here, and you can. I have done it in the reverse order, and I found I enjoy it just fine. Like, you see the story from two different angles with each one that you do, so I don't think you need to see the story from the Spiral of Destiny's angle before hopping in here, but your mileage may vary. But the reason why it's so important that you come in and you do up to Chapter 1-17 in Chapter 1, and you don't necessarily even need to clear the hard mode chapter, and I do have a hint about hard modes before we're done, is that when crossing worlds, oh my god, I can't talk. Crossing worlds, the third mode out of the Fool's Journey and Spiral of Destinies, has a bunch of different things that unlock, but 1-17 unlocks memory retrieval. And memory retrieval is the thing out of anything else. If you do nothing else on a daily basis, you want to do memory retrieval. Because memory retrieval is how you get your character shards. The first one, which is available right when you unlock it, is very easy to do. It gives you 4 shards a day. The second one gives you 5 shards a day. As you level up your actual account, you get better and better. The last one you'll be able to unlock will give you 9 shards per day. You do need to get your Voyager level up high enough to get there, but no matter what, this is what you want to do. Now remember, the maximum is 3 shards per character, and you can only do 1 per day. The difference being when you first unlock a level, that first try does not count towards that. So for instance, tomorrow, if I do the level 2 and then I hit Voyager level 30, I can go ahead and do the level 3 anyways, even though I already did level 2 for the day. So don't worry about locking yourself out. In fact, it might actually be a good thing. The only reason why you might not want to is if you go, okay, but I'll be able to clear this and then do it again. So it just becomes a question of, if you don't know if you're going to be able to progress to the next Voyager level, obviously go ahead and hold off, but otherwise don't feel bad about doing it right away and then continuing it on. And you really are only going to miss out on, say, 1 to 2 memory shards in the day. But you want to get those memory shards. That's how you star rank up your characters, and several abilities become magnitudes better when you star rank them up. Remember, if you look at someone like Mytha, and she's going to be the one I'm going to pull up because I already pulled a dupe of her, and you get one for Voyage Memento. Right now, because I have her at 3 stars, her block effect decreases her damage take, and she gets a 15% damage decrease in addition to the regular stuff from block, and she still heals an ally with the lowest HP percentage in battle, restoring 20% of their health. As soon as I can get her up to star rank 4, this goes crazy because now she heals 2 allies in a single at the end of her turn passively. Super, super useful. There's generally always going to be that star level where it's like, boom, your skill upgraded notably. And so you're definitely going to want to keep eyes on that. Beyond that, the next thing you've got to understand is about stamina kind of as a whole. You have 240 stamina max. It takes 16 hours for this to fully fill. So by that magnitude, because you get 4 stamina per, or you get 1 stamina every 4 minutes, excuse me, as a result, you get 360 stamina naturally during the day just by playing. You know, if you're using it and so that it doesn't just stay maxed out, because obviously it won't go past it. So make sure you use it before, you know, within that 16-hour period, use at least 120, and you'll always be good. Beyond that, you also have 2 stamina refreshes you can get per day via the quests section. In here during your daily quest by logging in at specific times, namely by logging in after 8 a.m. and by logging in after 4 p.m. Obviously adjust for your own personal, your own, you know, local time. But by logging in after the 2 set times, you will get an additional 160 and 60 for 120. So that's 480 stamina per day. Beyond that, there are endurance potions, and you can also spend hope luxites on stamina refreshes. Specifically, you can spend 60 hope luxite to gain 120 stamina. Now, your mileage may vary. I'm going to tell you right now, as a free player, I probably would not advise doing this. The reason why is because if you do that math, let's just say you're like, well, I'm going to do 1 stamina refresh a day. 1 stamina refresh a day across 30 days is going to be 1,800 hope luxites, assuming a 30-day month, like I said. And that's going to get you 3,600 energy. So about the same amount as what you naturally get without counting the refreshes through 10 days. Maybe that's worth it to you. That also is the equivalent of 12 pulls or other things you can get. I don't know that it's worth it, personally, for a free player. Now, if you're a whale, go for it. Do your thing. Have a great day. I'm not telling you how to spend your money. More energy's probably worth it. But that's how I feel. Also, notice it says daily limit 4 times. It doesn't mean you can spend 60 luxite to get 120 over and over, because every time it increases. It goes from 60 to 120 to 180 to 240. That's a lot. Again, that's strictly whale territory as far as I'm concerned. For the endurance potions, feel free to use them. The game gives them to you, whatever. But just always make sure to use your time-limited ones first. And the thing is that you should know is the time-limited ones have a set amount of time. As you get more potions that are time-limited, it does not reset the clock. These were all starting as 10-day time-limited potions. Somewhere around the 7-day mark, I picked up a bunch more, and it stayed 7-day. So do keep that in mind. You don't get that clock reset when you get another time-limited potion. So these right here, if you don't use it, you lose it. Make sure to use them. Again, my focus would be on Fool's Journey, specifically until you get to at least 3-16. That doesn't mean to ignore Crossing Worlds entirely, but it does mean very, very specifically what you're going to want to do with Crossing Worlds, outside of making sure you do memory retrieval every single day for sure. For every other Crossing Worlds mission you can do, you want to do them once. Exactly once. And the reason why you want to make sure you do them is for Voyage Memento. Voyage Memento gives you a bunch of different free things. As you can see, I've made it up to Phase 5 of Voyage Memento. Each phase is essentially gated by your account level. So with Phase 4, you need to be at least Voyager level 25 because some of the things you have to do include getting one of every type of role to rank 5. In order to get to rank 5, you need to be able to get your characters to level 25, so that means you need to get your account to level 25. Very simple. That being said, you want to focus on Voyage Memento. You do want to do the things that it asks. But, very notably, you want to do the develop tasks and the impact tasks. The reason why, when you do all the develop tasks, the game auto-completes the resource tasks, whether or not you've done them. So this one is like level up training, gain extra rewards 3 times. That means you have to do the level up training that's got extra rewards 3 times. Rank up trial, do that, da-da-da-da. Or it's just, if you do all these, you don't have to do any of that. Very, very important you do it. Now, for the impact tasks, which you got to do, each level, it basically gets to the next tier you unlock in Crossing World. So right now, for the impact tasks, I got to do the level 35, the difficulty level 35 level up training, the difficulty level 35 rank up trials, difficulty level 35 radiant forging, and difficulty level 35 star trial. I'm not going to unlock those until I hit Voyager level 30, so I do have to push to that point. But once I get there, I definitely want to do this, because for doing all these things, I'm going to get Tempest, or Ballista here, automatically. I'm going to get another copy of Flame Sorceress. I'm going to get a bunch of Voyager XP. I'm going to get another Ceremonial Dagger. I'm going to get a copy of Rowea when I do all the things. Like, Voyage Memento gets you some great stuff. Going through the earlier ones, which I've done, some of the standouts are, you get a bunch of Crimson Falcon memory shards, by the way, enough that you will likely be able to max her out, or close to it, along with what the game's naturally giving you. You will get a number of Ceremonial Knives, to where you can max that out to 5 stars by combining them. And we're going to get into, equipment and maxing it out and combining it and what have you, but that's definitely a good idea as far as what it's going to get you. You'll get several characters. You may already have copies of them, and not just, yes, you get Mytha, you get Rowea, you get Fakal, you get a number of epics. And that's not a bad thing. Like, I understand, they're not legendaries. Suppression is an excellent magic defensive tank. Like, he's an excellent tank. He's an excellent magic defensive tank who just stands in front of mages and breaks them down. He will be excellent for several more unique stacked up enemy formations. Abyss is a mage who has a sleep spell. Like, I don't need to tell you how that can be useful for certain setups. Things like that. You'll get weaponry, you'll get all types of things. So Voyage Memento is definitely something you want to focus on. And in order to focus on it, it means you want to do, at minimum, 1 fight through every single one of these. So that means 1 fight through each of the star trials as you open them up, 1 fight through each of the rank up trials. But you don't want to do more than 1 because it's not really worth it early on, right? The only ones that are worth it are, like I said, memory retrieval, because weapon shards memory shards are obviously very useful. Radiant forging is probably something you can spend some extra stamina on and feel fine about, because you get radiant powder, and weapons will start taking a lot of radiant powder very quickly. That's one of the few resources you can get even early on that you're just going to need. You're not going to have enough of, and it's going to be gated. So extra time in Radiant Forging, not a bad idea. If you're just going to be like, I'm just trying to spend some extra energy and I'm not trying to progress stuff or whatever, that's probably where to go. And then beyond that, doing your weaponry trial for the day, whatever's the strongest, once you unlock that. You unlock that at the very, very end of Chapter 2 of the Fool's Journey. And so this is going to give you weaponry or trinkets. And obviously, that's important. Let me tell you, the difference between having your characters equipped with strong gear and not having characters equipped with strong gear is very, very apparent. Leonide, for me, has not had a weapon for a long time because I literally did not get a spear. I finally got him one. I want you to see, as far as his power rating, as far as the game's concerned, he's given a power, because this number over the character is like their overall power, if you will. He is ranked at 626. If I take off just his weapon, I'm not even talking his armor that I have set for him, just his weapon, he goes from 626 to 534. To put that in perspective, his actual attack power drops 128 points. He's only got 534 base. That is a 25% decrease. He loses 200 health. He loses a bunch of defense. You do want to gear your characters. And you don't want to be worried about having, like, a bunch of 1-star gear for everyone. If you are following the Fool's Journey, and if you are doing Voyage Memento, and if you do your weapon trials, and I can tell you right now, I've only done the first weapon trial, each one time, and I'm going to continue doing them because you can only do 1 attempt per day. But I have a fully maxed out Ceremonial Dagger on my Garcia. So the reason why you want to do the star level up, which is done by fusing multiple weapons of the same type when you can, is it increases whatever gear skill it has as well as the stats. By having it at level 30 and at 5 stars, which is not super crazy by the point I'm at, whenever she attacks from behind, she gets a 20% crit boost. Okay? That's notable. Right here, she's got the Spring Tonic. She can, 1 time per battle, can heal herself for 33% HP. Again, useful. I don't have another copy of the Newborn Blade, but it's a legendary weapon, so the stats are excellent. But I did have multiple copies of the Wolf Fang Necklace, so that was worthwhile for her. Things like that. Like, go ahead, do not feel scared of combining your gear unless it's something very, very specific. Like, for instance, right now, I have Leonide and I have Gloria, and I literally only have 1 spear. So if I pull a second spear, I probably won't fuse them if it's another Guardian Spear, because this will make sure that each of them has a weapon, and the difference between having a weapon and not having a weapon I just displayed to you is huge. The difference between having a 1-star weapon and a 2-star weapon is not huge, it's just worthwhile. But if you have the choice between having a character have the weapon and not have it, you want to go with multiple characters having the weapon. But as far as things like trinkets and armor and common weapon types, especially daggers and swords and things like that, you're going to want to go ahead and fuse them because you will get plenty of them while playing the game, and you can go ahead and enjoy those. Now, as I said, I did want to mark down, as far as the important milestones, the biggie as far as Fool's Journey is 3-16. When you complete 3-16, you will have unlocked all of the major things in Crossing Worlds and all of the important stuff that goes as far as your account. So at that point, you know you don't have to spend anything else there. So that's just something you definitely want to keep in mind. If you're sitting here saying, as I've said before, Josh, I only got about 10-15 minutes a day to play, what do I do? For starters, I want you to make sure when you're setting up your account that you do, once you have it unlocked, home decoration, go to people, and put 3 people in here so that they can get some free daily bond stuff. So now what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, I got 10-15 minutes when I log in, what are we going to do? First thing we do, obviously, you go in and you go to your quests, or you go to the events, or whatever, as far as like daily login bonuses, get your daily login bonuses. That'll take you, 20, 30 seconds. Then you're going to want to go to Bond, go to those 3 characters. In this case, I've got Garcia, I've got Leonide, and I've got Gloria. So I just go to Gloria and do a little tap, and boom, I got the bond there. I go to Garcia and do a little tap, and boom, I got the bond there. Same thing with Leonide. Very quick, very easy. That will build up. Every level of bond gives you a 1% attribute boost. When you're getting to the end of the game, you're going to be eventually talking about, if you can get it up to level 5, that's a 5% boost on all your stats. That's not for nothing. So you just saw that took me 10 seconds, very little work, worth the energy. From there, you're going to go to the Voyage, you're going to go to Crossing Worlds, you're going to do your memory retrieval, whatever the highest level you can is. Then you're going to do your weaponry trial, whatever the highest level you can is. As far as weaponry trials, they're all open on Sunday, and then every day of the week. So each one is open for 2 days of the week. One is Monday and Thursday, one is Tuesday and Friday, one is Wednesday and Saturday. So you'll only have one open. Again, just do whatever the highest level is that you can handle. These are a little bit tougher, so it may be that you have some difficulty with the highest level. Whatever the highest level one you can handle. Okay, don't worry about that. But you do your memory trial, you do your single weaponry trial, and then from there, if you're just like, I just want to spend whatever amount of energy I can before I go and do Radiant Forging and kind of spend whatever you can and move forward from there. That's the real quick breakdown on how can I spend my energy on a day when I just don't have the time to focus on the story. I don't have the time to sit and think. Especially if you can get yourself set up in such a way that your auto battle can handle things. You can set the Radiant Forging, do auto battle, and let it run through, and you'll be good. The auto battle in this game is not great, I'm not going to be honest, but it's also not a difficult battle. So all three of those, let's just say you were to do even 2 or 3 of the Radiant Forgings. You know what? Let me actually do some math real quick. As far as this goes, I know memory shards is 40. Weapon retrials, I believe, they're also 40, so that's 80. I did say you want to use at least 120. So let's just say you do 2 Radiant Forgings. That'll be 60, I believe. Yeah, because 30 and 30. So 80 and 30 and 30, that is 140 right there. If you were at max stamina, that brings you all the way down to 100, and at that point, you are looking at something to the tune of 8 hours off the top of my head. That'd be 140 stamina times 4 minutes, 400, 560. No, it's more than 8 hours. It is almost 10 hours. It's 9 hours and 20 minutes before it refills what you spend. So let's just say you're going to go work a full shift, and you're like, I just want to break it down in 10 minutes and make sure that I use up my stamina. That's the easy way to do it. 1 level up, or 1 memory retrieval, 1 weapon retrial, and 2 Radiant Forgings. That's going to do 9 hours and some change right there. You can turn, and then keep your energy refreshes. There's nothing that says you have to immediately click to claim the energy refreshes. Do not claim them until you've used past 60 energy spent. And until you're ready to use them. If you know I only have a chunk of time and then later I'll be able to play for a few more minutes, use the stamina now, leave your free energy refreshes in the quest list, okay? So that you do not claim them. You can get those later. You don't have to grab them right now. And then later when you go sit down and play, use until you have used more than 60 energy, then grab those. Again, this way you can make sure that you're not spending time sitting there with 240 out of 240 and you're not actually gaining anything. You're getting the most efficiency out of it. Beyond all that, the only thing I can say is you want to feel free to invest in different characters. By the time you get to Phase 4, Phase 5 of Voyage Memento, in order to do all the quests, it wants you to get at least 1 of each role to certain ranks, but it also wants you to get 6 people total to that rank and to the associated level at that point. So, reasonably speaking, it's going to be at least 1 of each role plus an extra. So in my case, I'm using Garcia, Mytha, Leonide, Gloria, and Flame Sorceress as my main team because I want to have a Destroyer and I like what Flame Sorceress brings. But Fake Hall is also leveled up alongside them anytime I get to any particular milestone. I'm also toying around with some characters like Stormbreaker, Angel, Crimson Falcon, Suppression for the video I'm showing off. I was toying with Divine Grace for the video I'm doing where I'm going to get into the role breakdown and things like that, so I can tell you a bit more about them. I'll tell you Stormbreaker, this is just an aside, it's obviously not the main focus of this video, but if you need you a breaker and you don't have a great one, but you have you don't have a legendary, I should say, but you have Stormbreaker, she kicks ass. She is basically the AoE goddess, okay? Her whole thing is, I do AoE damage, my passive increases my AoE damage. Whenever I do AoE damage, I follow up with extra attacks. I have more skills I can get that do AoE damage on top of my AoE damage. Like, if she can ever get around 2 people, she gon' kill them. She's a blender. So definitely something to, keep that in mind. But I'm about to do, as soon as my energy gets to 30, the next level of Fool's Journey, 3-1. That's when I know I will unlock Tarot Memories. Right? Tarot Memories? Tarot thing. Whatever. The Tarot thing. Hold on. What's it called? I know. Tarot Whispers. There we go. I know words. I know what I'm doing. That's when I'll unlock Tarot Whispers, and that'll be another piece of gear I can give to all my characters. I'm presuming I will also unlock eventually the Tarot Whisper Crossing Road is going to be for 316. But regardless, the point is, you want to push until 3-16 for sure in Fool's Journey. That's your focus there. And I'll tell you, as far as things like playing hard mode matches, things like that, do keep in mind, they don't take any stamina or energy, whatever you want, endurance, whatever the term is, and you're not level locked when you do them. So you can always come back to them. Specifically in Chapter 2, When I went to do 2-4, 2-5, I was having a little bit of difficulty, so I just said, you know what, I'm gonna go finish the chapter, and then I'll come back stronger, and I found it was so much easier. Now, if you really want to handle it at lower strength, obviously you can. Nothing is stopping you. But just remember, you don't have to obsess over it. There is no energy cost, and nothing is gated behind it. It's just 80 more hope Luxite for you, and, you know, you want to feel like all the everything is cleared off on the list, so you probably want to take care of it, but it's something you can easily handle. But 3-16 in Fool's Journey is the big important one. Daily, make sure you do memory retrieval, make sure you do your weapon retrial. Beyond that, like I said, if you want to toss 1 or 2 into Radiant Forging, feel free to go into there. That's going to be how you can efficiently grind something and use your energy quickly without having to think about it while doing something that's long term. I just want to explain real quick. The reason why you don't want to grind on, say, rank up trials is if you look at, say, the Destroyer trial right now, the best I can get is some of the bronze tier medals and some of the silver tier medals. Now, if I specifically need bronze tier medals, obviously that's probably good, but the chances are good you have enough of those medals. I have 65 bronze tier medals. I think it takes like 11 to get a character to where I'm at. Like, I'm not in need of them unless I'm trying to get 4 or 5 characters of the same role all ranked up. So you're going to be fine. You want to get to the later ones before you ever even consider grinding, because those are going to give you the ones you need the most. So your energy is not really well spent being spent on grinding in the early game, because it's going to give you very little reward back, and you really don't need it. There's not a lot of challenges that are going to come up. Maybe stuff in the Tower of Conquest, say when you get up into the higher levels, but it's probably not worth the risk versus reward. Like you saying, oh, I can get 1 or 2 extra fights cleared out in Tower of Conquest in exchange for a bunch of grinding here to be able to do something with a character, versus getting further in the Fool's Journey and unlocking new things and progressing your account's Voyager level, which will let you level up more, which will achieve the same goal. So that's why you want to do that. So that's kind of how you should think as far as playing early game in Sword of Convallaria. Obviously, Spiral of Destiny is there, and you want to play it plenty so that you can get all the stuff from Dawn, but Spiral of Destiny doesn't cost any energy, and so you can do that. You pop a key and you go in, and you keep playing until you're ready to stop playing and start a new run. Like, you can go for a long time before you ever need to use anything else in there. So I wanted to focus more on the energy part of it, because that's where it seems to be a little bit of a worry. But like I said, by and large, use your stamina as far as unlocking stuff, and then kind of just use it as you want to. Feel free to equip your characters with, good gear, and combine your gear, especially anything, gold or above. And go for it. I think that's about it. I think I'm getting my point across well. But the point is, basically, don't be daunted. Just have a plan and focus, but there's plenty you can do. It's a fun game. There's a lot. There's a lot to unlock. There's a lot of road ahead of us. We are 4 days into playing. 4 days into playing? 4 days into playing? Are we 4 days into playing? Am I 4 days into playing? I was there that first night, so I was there before the first reset, so I guess maybe technically I need to see. Sail on Voyager? 5 days into playing. 5 days into playing. I know my stuff. Again, I know what I'm doing and what I'm talking about. I cannot stress to you, I'm great at this talking and guides and YouTube thing. Anyways, y'all know what it is. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what's your current Voyager level, what's your plan so far, what have you been focusing on, and all that good stuff. And let me know down below if there's anything specific you want to see me talk about in terms of early game challenges, any of the hard mode battles that you particularly don't seem to understand going up to Chapter 2. Obviously, you can see I haven't really dug into Chapter 3 yet. Anything in particular that's just catching you up or causing you some issues or some problems. And other than that, look forward to, I will have the role guides coming out within the next couple weeks. I'm also going to be dropping my first RPG challenge video with a Suikoden video, so definitely keep look out for that. And other than that, as I always say, leave a like, leave a comment, sub if you're not sub, please sub if you're not sub. More subs is always great, so that you can see more stuff. And otherwise, love y'all, appreciate y'all, thank y'all. Until next time, I'll catch you later, fam. All right.